Hello and welcome back to another TechNet video. Today we're going to be looking at ISO and how changing its value can affect your image. In basic terms, ISO is simply a setting on the camera that will affect the brightness of your image. In very basic terms, ISO is simply a setting that you can change on your camera that will make your picture brighter or darker. As you increase your ISO, your image brightness will also increase. This is what makes it such a good tool for use in dark environments, especially when you're doing photo and video. Being able to brighten your image also means you're more flexible with your shutter speed and aperture values. You've got to work on that balance between each of those values to try and create the best image you can. However, there are a few downsides to using a higher ISO. ISO is a great tool to help you capture images in dark environments. It also lets you be a bit more flexible in terms of your aperture and shutter speed values as well. Since you have a brighter image, it may allow you to step up your shutter speed or decrease your aperture or increase your aperture depending on what sort of depth of field effect you're trying to achieve. However, raising your ISO may have some serious consequences that you have to consider. Going above a certain point will start to introduce noise into your image. At one point, this noise will become so much that it will detract from the quality of your image and you'll probably deem it not usable. So raising your ISO is always a trade-off. Yes, it's nice to have a brighter image, but you're going to have to think about the reduced image quality. Personally, I think you should only raise the ISO if there's no other methods that you can achieve to increase the brightness in your shot, such as adding more light into the scene or maybe slowing down your shutter speed if you're taking a picture. Try and experiment in a few different ways before having to increase your ISO. Using your lowest ISO setting is really important. This is called your base ISO. At this level, there's not much noise being introduced into the image at all, and you're going to be getting the best image quality you can out of your camera. Most modern DSLR bodies and mirrorless systems have a base ISO of around 100. However, it isn't always possible to stick to that base ISO value, so it's down to you to make the choice when you want to increase it and how much by. Most of the cameras you can borrow from TechNet have an auto ISO feature. Now, we strongly suggest not using this as it will quite often bump the ISO to one of the camera's highest values, introducing a lot of noise into the image. It can be really hard sometimes to tell if that noise is present on the back of a camera screen, but once you get into the edit suite and open it on a bigger screen, it becomes quite evident that shooting at somewhere 3200, 6400, you'll be starting to introduce a lot more grain into your image. So in quick summary, ISO is a lifesaver, especially in some darker lighting situations. However, we'd say try and look at it as a last resort and think of some other alternatives before having to tweak it. If you have any questions, comments or feedback about this video, please leave it in the comments box below. We'll be trying to upload a new video every Monday, so stay tuned to have more videos as part of this mini series on DSLR cameras.